Hey, good morning. Happy Sunday and welcome to my clearing my throat. Welcome to Hobby Evolution episode 788, I think. Madison Card Show review. What a show. Holy cow. So we're going to talk Madison Card Show this morning. I'll show off some of my pickups. I went into the show with the intentions to not buy anything. I failed. But I didn't buy bulk. In fact, everything I bought, mostly Cubs. I picked up mostly Cubs. I picked up a few Braves things for my buddy Herman. And I picked up a few cards to list on eBay, which I did. Last night I listed some Bowman Mega Box refractors that I got for a great deal. And that was about it. Some other, I think, Bowman Chrome. So I did buy some stuff. Oh, and I bought some packs. I found some packs. So I'm going to talk about my pickups. I'm going to talk about the turnout at the Madison Card Show. It was all around an amazing show. We got some snow last night. Thank God it was last night, not like Friday night. Weather was perfect for January for a card show, and if you wanted to travel, all areas, Minnesota, Wisconsin, Northern Illinois, Northeast Iowa, boom, perfect. Perfect for January. So it was great weather. Did get some snow. I'm getting my coffee ready this morning, and I hear a neighbor fire up a snowblower. What? Say it ain't so. I have almost 300 items to ship because I didn't ship anything Saturday. I came home and I just hung out on the couch, listed some stuff on eBay last night, drank a couple spotted cows. But it was a great weekend in sales. Friday, Saturday eclipsed most of the last week and a half sales-wise. So I'm buried in eBay shipping the next couple days, and apparently I'm going to be I probably will have to, if somebody else in the neighborhood fired up a snowblower, that means I'm going to have to fire mine up later this morning. I did shovel the back for the dog. Biscuit gets to go potty on grass and not snow. So we got that shoveled for her. I got that shoveled for her this morning. So that was a little surprise. It can snow the next couple days. I don't want it to snow Friday or Saturday of next weekend. I'll be set up at the Rockford Card Show, new location, the IBEW Hall. So I'm looking forward to getting back behind the table. I wish I was behind a table yesterday. And I was telling my wife, like it would be a double-edged sword. Like I would have made great sales with the amount of people that were at the show. However, I would not have been able to, it would have been very difficult to go around, collect money from dealers. I would not have been able to get the pictures and video that I took, and I wouldn't have been able to really buy anything. So double-edged sword. I did sell out of tables yesterday, and everybody showed up. It was like, what? This never happens. So I'm just going to live it up and celebrate it because I don't know if it'll happen again. You don't want to take it for granted. Let's get into the chat. Harlan is here. What's up, Harlan? Herman, there's my guy, Herman. Herman, I've got a box coming your way this week. Paul Carl Cards in the house. He's early today. I'm early today for a Sunday. 8:30 on a Sunday's early for me. I had a few spotted cows, and I felt some pokes through the night. That means that's what I was doing last night. So I didn't get the best sleep. It may have sounded to my wife like I was getting great sleep, but the snoring, I was awoken a few times in the middle of the night for my snoring. Victor, what's happening? Good morning. Kyle, I got to meet Kyle yesterday at the card show. Scotty Dubs was in the house. We took a photo. I tweeted that picture of the three of us from the Hobby Evolution chat. Also, I have not gone through, but Kyle dropped off some Cubs for me. So I'll have to get these counted up with the rest of the Cubs I picked up yesterday. So thank you, Kyle. It was awesome meeting you. My buddy Matt at 5 Star Cards was also very happy. He raced over to me at one point during the show. He's like, dude, I got like 60 cards submitted from your show, your YouTube show. I'm like, yeah, that's Kyle. So Kyle with a big submission to 5 Star. So that's awesome. Brian, what's up? Good morning to you. Victor, we got some snow this morning, small accumulation. Yeah, it's a very powdery up here. It's a very powdery snow as well. It's one of those snows. It's that small accumulation that do I get the snowblower out or not? But since a neighbor did, I feel that's like, because you don't want to go out and like be the guy with the snowblower when there's like just a little bit of snow. But if a neighbor does it, I feel like, okay, it's okay to fire up the snowblower. And really, to be honest with you, I shouldn't give a damn. If the neighbors think I'm lazy by firing up the snowblower, F them. I don't want a shovel. Herman says, get those eBay numbers up to prepare for those tax returns, right? Let's see. Yeah. People getting their money back. Christian says, went to a show yesterday. Jose Canseco was the auto guest. Show was packed. Only spent $20 though. You know, I have from like all reports through the month of January, every show that I've heard has just been, Uncle Rich is in the chat. Uncle Rich said the Dallas Card Show was one of the busiest since the boom. My Madison Card Show yesterday was the busiest Madison Card Show to date, going all the way back to April 2021 when I started the show. Yesterday had the most in attendance. And some of the dealers commented, they're like, oh, I felt like there was the same amount of traffic as last month. So it's kind of a optical illusion. And here's how I know there was more people, because every other month at the Madison Card Show since February of last year, we're going on 1 year of having 2 floors of the card show, the Williamson Ballroom on the first floor, and then the upstairs Capitol Ballroom with the mezzanine. Now, the first few months, probably 2-3 months, people weren't used to the downstairs ballroom. And I knew right away I made a gaffe by not having enough signage to direct people to the new space. We got that rectified. And then all of a sudden, there came a time like in the summer of last year where I would hear people in the downstairs ballroom, oh, there's more tables upstairs. Like, yeah, there's 80 tables upstairs. There's 40 down here. There's 80 upstairs. So the tide shifted a bit during the summer months. And what we had was typically how the show went as far as traffic. People would come in and go to the Williamson Ballroom first on the first floor, just straight back as you walk in the front door. So the morning seemed very busy in the downstairs room. And I would get complaints upstairs. It's like, man, it's really slow. I'm like, it's packed downstairs. And then by, the first couple hours, people start trickling up. And then by noon, it's packed upstairs and it's dead downstairs. So now there's a balance. You go upstairs, there's too many people, I'm going to go downstairs. I'm going to go downstairs, it's too packed, I'm going to go upstairs first. Throughout the morning yesterday, it was packed downstairs and upstairs. And there was still people like at 1:30, 2 o'clock in the downstairs ballroom. The last couple months, dealers have been packing up at 12:30, 1 o'clock that were set up in the Williamson Ballroom because it was just, there wasn't the traffic there. And people by that point in the day had migrated upstairs. So that's how I know, because it was packed. What most people call the hallway. I call it the mezzanine. The mezzanine sounds much nicer. The mezzanine, there's been some months where the mezzanine, despite having dealers throughout, there's just people are either in the downstairs room or the upstairs room, and the mezzanine, the hallway kind of gets, skipped. Not the case, because there were too many people. It was packed in each room. And so the mezzanine was packed. Every It seemed like throughout the day, every table had people watching it. And I know I had one dealer complain that he had poor sales. It was his own fault. If you had, if for any show, if you're a dealer at any show and it's packed and you have a shitty day, it's likely your own fault. It's the buyers are there. You know, I heard, and I walked the room. I walked the room, the Williamson Ballroom. I walked the upstairs Capitol Ballroom, the mezzanine. I was, as I talk to dealers, I get a feel for, I get a good feel of what people are looking for and just kind of an idea of what the buying sentiment is. In the last several months, customers come in and they want to sell or they want to trade, or the popularized made originally popular back 20 years ago, the red paper clip, the trade up challenges, which were taking the card shows by storm last summer and fall. I heard less. I don't think I heard of a trade up challenge yesterday, at least in my, didn't mean it wasn't going on. Now, were there people trying to buy and flip and trade? Absolutely. And you're going to have that at every card show, but it was far less yesterday than any other show since, the big boom craze when everybody was buying. So that's just kind of as I, because I'll stand and talk to dealers at tables. Sometimes I'll watch their tables while they take a smoke break or go to the bathroom, or get something to eat or drink. I'll dig through. I'm, spending some time at quarter boxes, and, I can overhear the next table like, hey, I'm doing the trade up challenge, which I didn't hear yesterday. I did hear that a lot. I think it was probably September, October when that was like the trade up chat. Like everybody was doing the trade up challenge. Didn't hear that yesterday. We've got Paige and Deanie Bean in the house. Uncle Rich is here. Like and subscribe. Thank you, Uncle Rich. Hit that like button if you haven't already. Sundays are always kind of a low live audience because, well, I don't go at the same time. This is actually kind of early for me on a Sunday. Let's see. Low Roller says I sold $30 in wrestling cards. Let's see. Did I see that? I sold a ton in the last 24 hours. I sold a Yaz. I sold some Red Sox cards. There must be some team buyers. I sold a ton. Like I think it was Friday. I sold a ton of White Sox. And this, gonna sidetrack and go eBay talk. Thanks, LRS. Low Roller. By the way, Low Roller, I subscribed to your channel. I was watching you play with your dog. I need more Low Roller Scratcher content. I need more than a video a week. Low Roller, let's go. Like and subscribe to Low Roller Scratcher. So my ideal with the inventory I have in my eBay store, ideally I want people to come in and buy lots of cards. Obviously, I think we all do as eBay sellers, but ideally I want I want to attract team collectors, player collectors, or hell, even set collectors. And I've seen that this weekend. I think Thursday or Friday, I sold a ton of White Sox, and by ton, I grew up in a small town in the Midwest. So a ton is like a literal measurement. Like we actually, it's legit. Shit ton is a real lot. Like a ton's a ton, right? But a shit ton, that's a real measurement in small town Illinois and probably Wisconsin, every other Midwestern state. So I sold a shit ton of White Sox cards. And then I had somebody yesterday morning. I was just taking a break. Usually when I get to the Madison Card Show, we're going to intertwine eBay talk and card show talk. Usually when I get to the Madison Card Show, yesterday it was about 5:45 when I arrived at the venue at the Sheraton Hotel on John Nolen Drive. And so I'll get the signage up and I'll make sure the tables are in the proper places, put the name tags down, all that. And sometimes between the time I get there and when the first dealers show up, I've got a little downtime. I can take a seat, get caught up, make sure nobody's canceling on me at 6 a.m. Fortunately, it didn't happen yesterday. And so all of a sudden my phone blows up. I had like 44 offers. I'm like, oh my God, they're offers. So now I have to go. And I know Nick's probably watching at some point. I don't know if he's live, but Nick's going to be like, you can do that in bulk. But I was on the couch and I'm like, screw it. I'm on the couch and, click. So that was, Yankees yesterday morning. And then this morning, I did some Red Sox. So I'm starting to see some of those team collectors come in and buy quantity, that's the goal, right? That's my goal. With my inventory is bulk, sell 20, 40, 50, 100 cards to the same buyer. Let's see. Where are we at? Let's see. Uncle Rich says at least once a show, if not more. We in the Starlight Room at the Dallas Card Show tell people, yeah, there are 400 more tables in the main room. You should see how their eyes widen at that term. Can only imagine. Paul says eBay talk is the best talk. I'm listing some hockey right now as I listen. Very nice. Herman wants more videos from Low Roller Scratcher. Low Roller says you need to list more wrestling cards. Yes, the 30th. I saw Alundra Blaze in her Medusa in her Alundra Blaze gear, promoting the 30th anniversary of Monday Night Raw. So I'm looking forward to watching that tomorrow night. So I should probably list some classic. I think I have some wrestling cards right next to me. Let's see. Let's find some. Let's just sidebar just real quick. We won't go into wrestling talk for long. Oh, I love Heritage Wrestling. We've got Gold Dust, Then and Now, and this MFer is still wrestling. I think he actually just announced his retirement, but he's like 60. Which normally 60 is like a retirement age, but not when you're freaking wrestling. The Texas Tornado, Kerry Von Erich. What else do we have? Oh, we've got some TNA cards. Awesome Kong. I sold a whole bunch of these at the first Rockford show I was at. Somebody came in and grabbed the stack. He's like, would you take $10 for all these? And I'm like, you damn right I will. You are damn right I will. So there's some wrestling. Let's see. Paul says, oh, cool. Thanks for the tip, Low Roller. I got some wrestling in my queue. I'll have to do that next. There you go. Chat, help in the chat. Christian says, does anyone else come home from a show that didn't have much that you needed and hold your own card show on eBay ComC and spend your card show cash that way? Came home yesterday and spent money that way. That's pretty cool. Usually I find a way to spend my money at the card show. Low Roller wants to know if I found any vintage hockey or soccer. No, I have not. Let's see. Randy, what's happening? Can't wait for the March shows. Let's go. Unfortunately for me, my March show runs up against the Chicago Spectacular again because I get bumped, and I had to tell. I was telling all the dealers. I'm like, because I have like 9 or 10 dealers that will set up in Chicago. I'm like, February 25th is the next show. By the way, March 18th, it's the same as Chicago. I know you can't make it. You'll be in Chicago. So I will likely be set up in March, and it will most likely not be a sellout at the Madison Card Show. Although I did sell out, I think in March last year, I did sell out. It was the same weekend. November, I did not, although I was close. I think I was closer to selling out November with the Spectacular going on than I was December with no competition. So that's just unfortunate. April, May, June. April sucks because I've got a tentative date. I don't want to put it out there because people might mark it down, and then if I have to change it, forget. If I don't get my date, I can't sign the contract for another 3 weeks, I think. If I don't get that April date, I'm screwed. I either have to keep it that April date and do a smaller show, like in the Williamson Ballroom on the first floor, maybe get the second room if it's not taken. I don't know. That's something that I'm going to have to follow up with my contact at the Sheraton. In the event I can't get my date in April, because I know my tentative date, and I'll just say it here, is April 29th. April 22nd is taken. They did confirm that date is taken, and I'm not going to run up against the first 2 Saturdays in April, because the first Saturday is Oak Creek, the second Saturday is Rockford, and those are like those shows, those are their dates. So I'm not gonna butt up against them. So that hopefully I don't have to cross that bridge. Terry and Terry, what's up? We are heavy on Terry's and Brian's. Heavy on Terry's and Brian's. Terry M, Terry A, what's up? Uncle Rich says, Bo just said, T&A, can the sex bots be far behind? Hard to believe it's almost been a year. Need that April date to make it an annual trip. Yes, yes. Brian says, offers. I've been getting so many lowball offers lately, i.e. $6 price offers $1 and so on with free shipping. Yeah, I get it. Speaking of, here's another sidebar. I'm going to share this. I won't share the, I should share the eBay username, but I won't. Let me see if I can find it. So this just happened, I think Friday night. Let's see. See if I can find it. So I have basically, let me tell you what the item is. The item is a Josh Downs Bowman U Chrome Auto. There's only 6 Josh Downs Bowman U autos on eBay, and mine is the only base auto. It was listed at $30 or best offer. And again, it's the only one on eBay. The like refractor autos and all that, those are listed at like 60, 70, 80 bucks. Josh Downs, potential first round pick in the NFL draft. So I have this, and I think this guy has actually sent me some messages in the past. So he sends me an offer for $5. And again, mine is $30, which I think is a legit price, but I'll take 25. And to somebody friendly, I might even take 20. But I know this guy, he's in Alabama. So he sends me an offer for $5, and I'm like, screw that. And I think I countered it like, if you're going to lowball me, I'm just going to highball you. Like, I'll give you a $2 discount. And I think I responded with like a $28 offer. So he's still getting a better offer than list price. So he counters my counter and goes from $5 to $8. And he says, your evaluation is insane. I'll need 3 cards for the price that you're asking for. It's ridiculous. He had a putrid season. He spelled season wrong. And you expect me to pay that much for him? He had an all-time horrible season. Then what the hell are you wanting to buy his card then? If he's putrid and had an all-time horrible season, why do you want his card? And I think I responded that. So then I just countered back at 30, my list price. It's like, all right, buddy, you're not getting a deal. And I think I sent a message, if he's such a horrible player, you shouldn't want his card. And I should have just ignored it, but I was feeling punchy. And then he responded, he countered that counter with his initial $8. And he said, have you ever watched the NFL? Have you ever seen the NFL draft? I'll give you an example to school you idiot. Trey Lance only played 1 season of college because his last season was COVID year and played at North Dakota State Division II college. And then so I just declined. I'm like, I'm done with this clown. I declined that offer. He sends me another offer for 99 cents. So I declined. I haven't blocked. I should block him. I didn't. But sometimes, and I think he sent me lowball offers on that same card. It's like, oh, you must really want it. So I just I looked and I'm like, you know what? Maybe it is only a $10 card. It's the only card on eBay of that card. Let's see. And I don't know if any have, I think some have sold, but the NFL draft is coming up. And I think he's going to be a first to second down. Hayden with some stats. He had 1,000 yards and 11 TDs, putrid season. Yeah. So I looked, I'm the only one. I have the only one listed right now on eBay. So I raised the price to $50. And I set a minimum of like $20. So I'm not going to get that dude's lowball offers if I don't block him first. So that's just a sidebar on Brian with offers. He's been getting lowball offers. We all get lowball offers. It happens. It's eBay. Sometimes I feel punchy and I go back and forth like that. I shouldn't, but I did. Let's see. NASCAR, Daytona 500. Paul says, most of my dollar free ship offers are on my listings, have been from other card sellers. I go and send them $1 off on one of their cards too. They never accept, right? So, and the reason why, and so you may be listening and say, well, why do you even have offers open on $1.50 free shipping? Here's why. Just like yesterday, I received 44 offers from the same buyer. They were $1, but he's buying 44 of them and accept 44 times. Hell yes. I'm going to accept them all day long. So that's why, that is the reason why I have offers open on $1.50 cards. Some buyers get upset when I decline or I don't come off my $1.50 price. I'll come down to like $1.40. They're like, oh, that's not a It's like, well, that's like where I'm making like a nickel. I'm making a dime at most on this sale at $1.40, unless you buy more cards. So that's why. And sometimes if they're like polite and they're not calling me an idiot, I will respond politely back and explain this is why I do it. If you buy multiple cards, and it just happened a few weeks ago, I had somebody offer me 99 cents on a $1.50 card, but that was the only card he offered. It's like, I'm losing money at that point. But he was nice about it when I responded to $1.40 and he countered it like $1.05 and I countered back at $1.40. And then he, like, why are you only coming down 10 cents? And he was nice about it. And I explained, these are my margins. And if you buy multiple cards, I'll take less. But I can't sell this card for $1. I'll lose money. I can. And I have some cards still listed for 99 cents. They're grandfathered in. I'm just too lazy to raise the prices, and I don't want to. If somebody buys them at 99 cents, hey, they get a great deal. I lose a dime, and hopefully I'll get a positive feedback out of it, and potentially a future customer that's like, hey, I'm going to buy 5 99-cent cards next time, and boom, I make that money back. Let's see. Herman says, great idea to Paul. Dan says, good morning. What's up? He crossed 29,000 cards listed last night. He's catching up to me. Dan, you're gonna surpass me because I'm at like 32,500, but I have 300 items to ship, so I won't be listing for a few days. And I got to get ready for the card show next week, so that will take some time out of it as well. So, in fact, I think since I've went live, I sold those Red Sox cards. I sold a football card. I am at 293 items to ship. Let's see. Low Roller says maybe the person is drunk. It was Friday night. They probably were. Let's see. Where are we at? Let's see. Hayden's stats on Josh Downs. I'm not planning on listing NASCAR. Let's see. Hayden says, do you ever get people that send messages after buying and say, make sure to package properly or ship with care? I do, and I think that's automated. I think they just do that. I think they have that set up because I'll also receive messages. Now, my feedback is automated, and so I leave positive feedback automatically upon payment, but I'll still receive a message. Hey, make sure to leave feedback. And I think the buyers have it automated like 3 days after it's shipped or whatever. Hey, make sure to leave me positive feedback. And it's like, I used to respond to those messages, and now I know they're automated, so I just ignore them because I already left positive feedback. Let's see. Rich says, again, if you come to ComC, you will never get an offer of less than 50%, and you can set your own offer percent as to what you would accept. I can do that on eBay, but I don't. And again, the reason I don't do it is it depends on the situation. On a single card, I'll only take $1.40. But if it's Wednesday and it's managed payments postage day, and I see my balance drop, I'll take $1.25 just to get money in my account. And I know I shouldn't do that, but sometimes I do. If I have like 200 or more items to ship, I don't. But if I'm pretty much caught up on shipping, it's Wednesday, my balance is dropping, it's like, $1.25. It's basically break even, but it puts some money to counteract all the postage, and I'll deal with it next week, right? Let's see. Where are we at? Where are we at? Let's see. Low roller, talking NASCAR. James says, still got your quarterbacks, or did you sell them out yesterday? Nope, I did not set up yesterday. So I've got a bunch of quarter boxes. I'll probably have some new stuff because I've got so much bulk. I'm just going to bring them. And so I'm going to bring a whole bunch of them. So, but I talked to, I think his name's Tom. And he's gone through my bargain boxes when I did set up at the November, December shows. Great guy. I ran into him yesterday at the show, or was it? No, it wasn't Tom. It was who was talking to me? Somebody asked me if I have. Oh, it was Mike. So Mike is originally from Tennessee. By the way, Herman and Mike would be best buds. Mike is a diehard, like Herman, Georgia Bulldogs fan. He was sporting his Georgia Bulldogs cap yesterday, still on a high from the national championship. So, and I think he's from like the Tennessee, Georgia border, that area, but now he lives up here. I think he actually lives in Rockford. But he's always digging through. Usually I see him in Rockford because usually I'm set up in Rockford. I'm not set up in Madison, but I was in Rockford and he asked me, he's like, I've got a list of guys that I'd buy in bulk of like players. And I think he mentioned some names, and it was like Tom Glavine, probably Braves guys. And I'm like, heck yeah, I'll, put those aside and we can work out a deal. So, let's see. Paul says it's crazy how much time people will waste haggling over pennies. It is. And I know it sounds like I'm haggling over pennies, but I have my price, and, it appears to be I'm haggling over pennies, but I'm not. It's my list price is $1.50 or $1.40. If you send me an offer, or I send out mass offers, it's going to be $1.40. And I'm not going to haggle. If, sometimes I get a 99-cent offer, I counter at $1.40, and they counter back at $1 or $1.05. It's like, no, it's $1.40. They counter back at $1.10. It's $1.40. They'll counter back at $1.35. No, it's $1.40. I'm not. And they're like, oh, are you serious? It's only a nickel. It's like, this is the price. This is the price. Anyway, Paul says, Bo, you can go to your active listings and filter by price and then bulk edit. Oh, that's a great idea. 2K at a time. Yes, I do the bulk edit often. I was some of my categories were messed up, so I was doing some of the bulk editing to get them all synced up a while back. Where are we at? Or better yet, end them all and relist with sell similar. I only 22 scans out of my 25,000 scans for the month of January, so I won't be catching you until next month at the earliest. Max is in the house. I got to chat with Max quite a bit yesterday. Max, like me, I feel like he was not intending to buy bulk, but guess what he went home with? Max bought bulk. Max wants to know, is it February 25th yet? Not yet. I need like a break. My back. This is the sign you're old. I'm so sore. And I joked about this with my wife last night. I'm like I'm on the couch, like stretching my hamstrings. I'm like, oh, I'm so sore from walking around and looking at baseball cards all day. Last weekend, I was so sore from standing in lines getting autographs. Like, what a rough life it is. First world problems. So and next week is the Rockford Card Show, which it'll be like the Rockford Card Show next Saturday will actually be kind of a break for me because I'll just be standing behind a table selling cards where I won't be standing in line for autographs, getting drunk and eating deep dish pizza at the Cubs convention, or walking up and down, all over looking at boxes at the Madison Card Show like yesterday. So it'll kind of be a break in Rockford next week. And then I could use a week of just like downtime. And then we can get to February 25th. And then right after that, it's going to be more. I need to hop on the treadmill just to get in shape for. Isn't that pathetic? I need to get on the treadmill to get in shape for card shows and spring training and Cubs convention and spring training as a fan. Spring training as a fan. Get in shape to watch other people work out and play baseball. Let's see. Brian says to Rich, I would use ComC, but you have to pay to mail your cards, 50 cents to upload, 10% to cash out to get your money. I'm with Brian on that. There's just too many upfront fees with ComC. That's why I stay away. I still have a big box of like basketball relics that I'll eventually get on eBay. They would be perfect for ComC, but it's like, then I have to go look at comps. What am I going to set the price at? And I'm not. Paul's like kicking himself because Paul got a great deal. Paul bought like 40 or 50 of my basketball relics at like 99 cents each. And they're like all $5 to $10 cards. So I'm not going to do that again. I think out of maybe 150 cards that I put on auction, 2 sold at comps or above. And I don't think any of them sold above. I think 2 sold at like a decent price. And I think essentially 3, but 1 didn't get paid for. So they would be good candidates for ComC, but I don't want to spend the 50 cents upfront cost. I don't want to ship them. I don't want to look at comps. Like, yeah, the end, like the listing and the shipping part is taken care of for me, but the money is not. I have to pay, and the shipping, I can deal with the shipping, but the upfront cost is a barrier to entry for me and ComC. And then the comps, like Brian knows, I don't like to comp. Let's see. No late hits on Goodwill. Dan picked up a Will Greer card from Sports Card Radio on ComC yesterday just for kicks. That's funny. That's hilarious. Rich says, when all is said and done, ComC is about 15% to sell a card, and eBay is 14%, and you do a heck of a lot less work. Let's see. TLC Investments, what's up? Do you have a link that shows all the local card shows and a schedule? Are you looking? Actually, you know what? The best. I'm going to take a page out of John Keating's book. I will tell you, usually I like the Beckett calendar, but the Beckett calendar is much harder to find these days. So I am going to promote cardshowmap.com. And I know this is a John Keating favorite. Check out cardshowmap.com, and that'll show. And it basically has all of the shows that Beckett would have in any other sports card daily. And so, yeah, it's got the Madison, Stevens Point, Green Bay, Janesville, Rockford, and then the Milwaukee shows, the Chicago shows, Woodstock. So cardshowmap.com, great site. And what's cool is it shows a map. I like maps. And it also, like John Keating says, where's my minus button? It shows like why aren't there more card shows in these areas? And you can see, well, take a look at the population numbers, say in Montana and Wyoming and Idaho. There's only 1 show in Idaho, 2 shows in Montana. Doesn't look like any in Wyoming. Well, those are also very not populated. Is that the correct term? New Mexico has 1 show. The Northeast, yeah, I know there's states like Rhode Island and Delaware that are small, but you also have, a lot of population along that East Coast. So there you go. That's why there's a ton of shows on the East Coast, a ton of shows in my little triangle, Chicago to Rockford to Madison, or Chicago to Milwaukee to Madison. That little triangle, you see a ton of shows. There's a decent population base there. And that's not, although like you look at St. Louis and there's not hardly any shows in the St. Louis area. That whole, like we called it Forgotonia, Southeast Iowa, Western Illinois, Northeast Missouri. There's like not a single show. You could go from, there's also not much there's no big cities in that area either. So there you go. Population base. Okay. Cardshowmap.com. TD Sports Cards, what's happening? I've done the math on it, but yes, I get the upfront issue, but that's how the cards get processed. And yeah, and I get why. Like I get why there's an upfront cost. But it's not for me, it's not feasible. Sounds like a waste of time. How much time is wasted on counter offer nonsense? And that's why it just and usually I only do, if somebody offers me $1, we're talking offers today. If somebody offers me $1 on $1.50, I counter it $1.40. if they come back to $1.05, usually I'll counter one more time to $1.40. And then if they counter again, I just decline. It's like, okay, if you're not going to take my $1.40, and I'm not going to take your $1.05 or 10. So let's see. Herman says drug and burn brush from 7 to 5. I know about being sore this morning. Let's see. But eBay does all the paperwork. That is definitely a perk to eBay. Let's see. Send me those basketball relics and I'll send them for you and split the profit. That I might consider that. Rich says ComC provides the comps for what cards are being offered on the site when they are processed. Well, that does make it a little easier. Let's see. Raphael, what's up? Let's see. There's the link to Card Show maps. I don't do EPAC, but I know Mike Summer does great with EPAC. Let's see. Paul, what's up? Paul Veldboom in the house. When's the next show? Next show in Madison is February 25th. That's the next Madison Card Show, February 25th. My next show is, that's my next show. My next show as a vendor will be in Rockford on next Saturday. Got home at 2 a.m. from poker, an alarm at 7 a.m. lost in favor of more sleep. You missed an awesome show. TLC Investments. I sold you about 6 to 7 large boxes out of the back of my vehicle at the Loves Park show. Oh, TLC. Yes. That's where my basketball relics. The world is so small. That is so awesome. TLC Investments. So I've been talking about the basketball relics, the box. So for TLC Investments, what I'm talking about ComC, what would be perfect candidates for ComC, and what Paul Carl Cards got a great deal on a bunch of basketball relics were many of those that were in the box that you sold me at the Midwest premiere. So for those not familiar, TLC Investments is the guy that sold me those cards. So this is crazy. So yes, I did pretty well. The Giannis's sold well. I put about 150 of the autos and relics on eBay auction, and they did terrible. Paul Carl Cards in this chat got most of them for like 99 cents. So he got a great deal. He's going to send them off to ComC or eBay himself. But yeah, there was, let's see. There were a couple cards that I think I sold for like 75 to $100. A lot of the basketball stuff sold for 99 cents, but then I made a decent return on, some like $5, $10 cards. So all in all, you got a great deal, cash deal on that. And I made a little bit of money, not crazy money back, but I still do have a lot of the cards. That's crazy. Thanks for jumping on. Thanks for jumping in. So I will be, I don't know if you're going to be around, but I'll be in Rockford next Saturday. It's a new location for the Rockford show. It's at the IBEW hall. And that address, I linked the Card Show map address. Let's see, IBEW. That's Janesville. Oh, that's the old one, Rock Church. That's the Loves Park. And here we go. IBEW 3 local 364 Banquet Hall, 6820 Mill Road, Rockford. And you can find that on the Card Show map website as well. So yeah, I'll be there. I'll have quarter boxes set up at the Rockford show next Saturday. Thanks for jumping on. That's awesome. Rascal 30 says Sports Collectors Digest, a great show calendar for all states. Yes. So Beckett, Sports Collectors Digest, Sports Card Radio. There's an Instagram Card Show page, Card Show map. And I think Card Show map just kind of draws from all those. There's another one that reached out to me a year ago, like Prospects or something, a prospecting website that did a Card Show calendar as well. Andrew wants to know, did you see Brian Gray is selling his own autographed superhero card in his image? Would be a great gift for John Keating. I did see that. And to be quite honest with you, I thought that was a joke. I thought somebody created that as a joke. And I saw something this morning that tells me that's real. Brian Gray, I love you. But I think Brian Gray has jumped the shark. Come on, man. I know we all know he's got a big ego, but that's like announcing to the world, I have the biggest ego. Brian Gray has jumped the shark. If that is in fact, and here's the thing, it was probably a joke by somebody within the company. It probably wasn't Brian's. I hope it wasn't Brian's idea. It was probably somebody's idea at Leaf, probably at the Christmas party last month. Somebody made a joke and they probably drew it up and like, hey, let's do this. And then they got drunk at the Christmas party and rolled with it. Let's see where we at. Let's see. Paul says, LOL, TLC sold to Bo. Bo sold to me. I'm selling on eBay now, and all three of us are here. That is insane. That is crazy. Rich says, by the way, I have a new hero, age 93, and look at the young lady he's marrying. Let's see. I think I saw Buzz Aldrin. Yes. Buzz Aldrin, living the life. Let's see. TLC says there was quite a few decent ones. Glad you did well. Yeah, thank you. I'll start getting out to more shows. I've had an eBay store for about 4 years, but wanted to unload the cards I sold you. I do a ton of grading with PSA, but don't get out to shows much. Very nice. Yeah, hopefully you can make it to Rockford next Saturday. John says, Viva La Gingers. Baseball card curmudgeon is here. John says, Brian Gray jumped the shark ages ago. You just couldn't see it from your shitty seat. This, by the way, this is a shitty seat. I'm going to have to upgrade. The new house, I'm going to have to upgrade new office chair. Let's see if there's room in the budget. Let's see. Rich says, Bo, if you were still on Hobby Hotline, I pointed out where he got that idea from. Let's see. Just listen to me, Bo. Let me do the thinking in the group chat. Okay. I have not watched yesterday's Hobby Hotline yet. The Falsey, what's up? Sports Card Radio will have that signed card of Brian Gray. Let's see. Okay, so let's talk more Madison Card Show yesterday. We haven't really talked at all about the Madison Card Show. So I went in and I told dealers and vendors, I'm like, it's getting a lot of buzz, more buzz than any of the prior Madison Card Shows. The Facebook post, the ad on Facebook was generating a ton of interest. And I think it was twofold. I think, I adjusted how I marketed this show in terms of the Facebook advertising. In the past, I've kind of thrown out a wide net in terms of geography. I've marketed to the entire state of Wisconsin. In some cases, the entire state of Minnesota, Iowa, and I think when I was really trying to build it up, Illinois, the entire state of Illinois. Now, from the tip of southern Illinois to Madison, Wisconsin, it's about 9 hours. What's the likelihood of somebody in Carbondale, Illinois, traveling up to Madison, Wisconsin for a one-day show? Pretty minimal. So it's a waste of Facebook advertising dollars. So then I started more regional, still the state of Wisconsin. I hit Minneapolis, Rochester, because I still get a decent traffic from those areas. Iowa City, Cedar Rapids, Northeast Iowa, down to the Quad Cities. Sometimes I hit Peoria, down to Bloomington, Normal, the Chicago area, and then sometimes around Northwest in South Bend, Northwest Indiana. But this time I'm like, it's January. People are probably going to be a little hesitant to travel 5 hours, 4 hours to a one-day card show. So I scaled back the geography. I kept the same dollar amount for my Facebook ad, but I kept it to the state of Wisconsin, Rochester, Minnesota, Cedar Rapids, Dubuque, Iowa, and then basically down to I-80 to make it like a 2-hour drive. Kind of with the exception of Rochester's about 3 hours away, northern Wisconsin, several hours. But I wanted to keep it, geographically tight. I avoided like the big population areas of Chicago because yes, you're drawing from millions and millions of people, but what are the chances they're going to come to a card show? So I wanted to capture an audience that's likely to come to the Madison Card Show. And I may, for February, scale back even further and do Wisconsin geographically, and still hit Rochester because I still have a nice audience from Rochester, and then tighten up the Illinois, and avoid some of the larger suburb areas. Still hit Rockford. I get great traffic from Northern Illinois, Rockford area. So I think that helped a lot in terms of people actually interested in the Madison Card Show on Facebook. But also there's a buzz of card shows. Last week in Janesville, Wisconsin, that show was packed. Every dealer I talked to, like, it was crazy. Uncle Rich said the Dallas Card Show earlier this month was the busiest it's been since the boom. I've heard other card shows have had excellent traffic here in January. So maybe there was, and I think just based on my own, and this is my own little small circle here in Wisconsin and Illinois, what I've witnessed over the last, say, 6 months, I think there was a lot of fatigue. The first half of 2022, we were still riding that wave, that big hobby boom through May. Now you get the summer lull. Now the summer lull also correlated with the card decline. It really started to decline by the summer months, and it actually probably was a correlation on each side. Why did the cards decline? Well, because now it's summer in most, it's warm now everywhere. Not just Florida, Texas, and Arizona, and SoCal. But also people are, doing other things. So that interest waned. And then into the fall, that fatigue, it's like, I didn't do well during the summer months. I'm going to take this month off. I'm going to take that next month off. And then you get into the winter months, Christmas time, holiday time, and there's a lot of Christmas parties, holiday parties, Thanksgiving, all that, shopping. And that takes some of it away as well. So I saw traffic, start to decline after the May show in 2022. June, July was a little less than I had expected. And then I thought, well, we're going to be boom. We're going to be right back at the top in September, October, and ride that wave again. And that didn't happen. In fact, it was worse. I had traffic in September, October were probably worse than June, July in the summer months. December was great. The week before Christmas, December audience was great. And then January, but I still didn't sell my tables out, and I didn't really have any other card show competition the weekend, the Saturday, December 17th. So I was concerned moving forward. Okay, I'm paying for these 2 rooms. Am I going to be able to fill them? Or do I just stick to 1 floor upstairs and do, an 80 to 85 table show, which is still a decent sized show. And then all of a sudden we go into January and there's this buzz again. And I had a waiting list. I haven't had a waiting list since I don't know. I know I had a waiting list in May. I probably had a waiting list in some of the summer and maybe the fall months, but certainly not as deep. I didn't have the interest as I did in those months, since those months. So I was telling the dealers going into yesterday morning, hey, I think this is going to be a good show. It turned out to be a great show. There was a lot of buzz. Like I mentioned at the beginning of this video, there was traffic was insane. Every room, every area was packed up until basically the lunch hour, kind of like what we saw during the boom phase a little over a year ago. So actually, this show, it was the most trafficked Madison Card Show to date, including the boom era. In fact, probably the most trafficked show before this was last January, as we were still probably at the. Let's see. I'm trying to think back now. We were probably coming down from the peak, but the show was growing. The show was growing, and the hobby, we kind of like missed the mark because when my shows, we were, early on in the boom when I started the Madison Card Show in 2020. Is that right? I can't remember how long. Yeah, this is going to be the 2-year anniversary, right? Oh, so 2021. I can't even remember when I started the show. But anyway, It was a great show. Traffic was up. Traffic was the best we've seen. What else? We had a great selection. Also, just kind of going along with the traffic, I didn't have a single no show or late cancel. I had one dealer who like partners up with a guy and his partner didn't come. I don't really call that. And here's what's awesome. I got a shout out. His name's Chad. He's awesome. I told John, it was John's buddy that couldn't make it. And I'm like, just pay me for one table. And cause John's been with me since day one. I'm like, just, you can use it. Just pay me for one table and use the space just to fill it. And he didn't have enough stuff. So I think Chad was with a buddy nearby. And so he set up. And at the end of the show, he came up to me and he's like, hey man, I set up, I want to give you some money for the table. And I'm like, no, it's good. It's good. And he like insisted, he gave me $20, didn't have to do that. And he like approached me. It was like, he could have just sat in to fill the table. Cause I'd rather have somebody use that space than let it sit empty. So shout out to Chad. That was really cool. Came up to me. He's like, I wouldn't have made any money, or wouldn't have made the money I made if I didn't have that spot. So that was cool. That was really cool. I met Kyle from the chat. I met Scott. Well, Scotty Dubs and we go way back. But I met Kyle for the first time. And Scott said, he's like, so Scott bought a super VIP for the National. He's like, I'm really looking forward to the National and I want to meet people from the chat. And I'm like, oh, like a ton of people from the chat, from the Hobby Evolution chat will be there. I'm like, you've got to hang out with us at the singles club. No. It's not that type of singles club. It's the dollar boxes. So I'm like, Uncle Rich will be there. Dr. Jim Beckett will be there. Mike Summer will likely be there. I'm like, in fact, Uncle Rich and I met for the very first time in person. We were standing right next to each other at the singles club. And all of a sudden I look over, I'm like, this guy looks really familiar. And I said, are you Uncle Rich? And he said, yeah. So that was super cool. And at one point, I think there's a photo that the singles club tweeted out. There's a photo of me and Mike Summer sitting next to each other, digging through a bargain box. I think they're taking a photo of Brody the Kid. They're taking a picture of Brody the Kid with one of those like backpacks. Myself and Mike Summer are in the background, and then I think over here is Stale Gum and Uncle Rich, and it's like we're all there. So it's like a hobby family reunion at the singles club. So Scotty Dubs wants to meet other people from the chat. He got to meet, so he had walked away and Kyle came up and he's like, hey, I'm Kyle. And I'm like, oh, Scott, come here. This is Kyle from the chat. So I'm like, Uncle Rich is going to be there. John, that 70s card show will be there. A lot of people from the chat will be there at the National. So I'm glad he reminded me because I've got to go buy my super VIP before they sell out because super VIPs sell out first. So I've got to purchase my super VIP. Before we go, I've pretty much talked about the Madison Card Show, everything that I wanted to touch on except for my pickups. So I want to get to that before we leave on this Sunday, and I've got a bunch of shipping to do. Dan says, I wonder how the 1099 decision impacted shows in 2022 and now shows in 2023 first segment of the hobby. So I thought that would impact shows for the positive. And I think I really don't know. But I can tell you the start of 2023 card shows are actually more popular in from what I've seen and what I've experienced so far. The first 3 weeks of January, we've seen a resurgence at card shows. So, I guess time will tell. TD says, one of these years I'll go to the National. So much fun. Let's see. I will likely not live stream at the National. There's just so much going. It's so hard to do any content for me. I know other people do. It's just so difficult. I'll take some video I'll upload to YouTube But as far as live streaming goes, likely not. Singles Club is a great name for a strip club. Many of us are staying at the Hilton Garden Inn. I'm staying out like 20 minutes away. It's 60 bucks. It's a decent hotel. I wouldn't call it nice, but it's decent. I like the drive in the morning. Dunkin' Donuts and McDonald's are right next door. So I can grab my morning breakfast and a coffee, and I have a nice little commute to the National each morning. It's 60 bucks a night. And me and my buddy split a room, 30 bucks a night. And I know those hotel rooms around the Stevens Convention Center are a lot more than 60 bucks a night. What's up, Card Hobbyist? Good morning. Bitcoin is pumping. James was in Woodstock. Even Woodstock was crowded. That's great to hear. I've only been to that show once, and traffic was very light. In fact, I think it was January last year when I went to Woodstock because it coincided with a Club 400 event. Because I went there and then I went to a Club 400 event, and it was in my January show last year was the busiest traffic wise of any of my Madison Card shows. And then when I went to the Woodstock show in January, it was dead. Faulty says, Bo, is the national a tax write-off for you? Yeah, yep, absolutely. Let's see. Rich says, I missed the hotel I used to stay at the National, the Marriott down by the CTA station, and Mickey D's across the street. Max says rooms around the CC are like triple, and that's with the room block. Yeah. So, yeah, I like the nice little 15, 20-minute drive, and it's basically a straight shot from where we stay. I think the address is Wheeling, but it's only 15 minutes, 20 minutes, depending on, it depends. It's 15 minutes if I get mostly green lights and there's no train in Des Plaines, because I drive right through downtown Des Plaines, and there's a train track that you can't avoid. If there's no trains and not as many red lights, I can get there in 15. Let's see. Where are you staying for $60 a night? Chateau Le Bedbug. I don't think I've stayed there for the last two nationals. So far, so good on the bed bugs. And it's got a restaurant. It's got a pretty cool restaurant bar attached. They had a lounge singer. I love lounge singers. Just drink a beer, watch a baseball game, and listen to a lounge singer after walking a show floor at the National. Let's see. Where are we at? Max says it is for anybody that will be reporting income from card sales if they buy for their business. Yes, sir. Paul says I got interested for a second at $60 a night, but also in that weird 90-minute drive to home anyways. Yeah, that's the thing. It's like, for me, I'm there every day. Like I'll get there Wednesday morning. And as soon as the VIP room opens on Wednesday, I'll be in there, and then I stay through Sunday. So I'm in it for the long haul. So that daily drive, and from where I'm at, there's a lot of tolls. So it's probably $60 a night to be 15 minutes from the show is likely. It's certainly like that would be a pain in the ass to drive Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, 5 times. The gas alone, the gas and tolls would be more than, for me, $30. I'm splitting a room. So by far, I'm probably paying just $30 in gas, let alone the tolls. So, just weigh out the costs. If you're only going for a couple days, and you're 90 minutes away, it might be worth it just to drive back and forth. So let's show off. So first things first, one of my goals for the Madison Card Show. Now, my intention was not to buy, but I did have one thing on my to buy list, and because I'm down to just a few packs for Name That Player. And I think all the packs I have, we've already done. So I wanted fresh packs for Name That Player on Fridays. Friday morning, we play it on the free-for-all, Name That Player. So my buddy John, who's one of the promoters of the Rockford and Janesville card shows, had a bunch of monster boxes of unopened junk wax. And I'm like, oh my God, this is the mother load. I'm like, but I only need one of each. And so some of his packs varied in price. So towards the end of the day, I'm like, okay, instead of me picking up each one of these, Can you just go in any pack that's $1 or less? Pull out and I'll buy it. As long as it's baseball or football. I'll do football. I don't want basketball. I certainly, sorry, low earmuffs, low roller scratcher, no hockey or soccer. So he pulled out, I think 15. Is there 15 here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 or 16 packs. Let's see. Victor says, I'm not driving back and forth to National. I dislike traffic. And hell, Victor's in Chicago. His commute's probably about the same as mine. So here's some of the packs that will be featured on a future Name That Player. We've got Upper Deck Collector's Choice Football from 95 featuring a Kansas City Chief, Joe Montana. We've got a Collector's Choice Baseball from 96. That'll be a tough one. We've got, this is a fat pack. Oh, this will be a fun one. 93 Donruss. Oh, I actually paid less than the sticker price on this one. $1.98. 93 Donruss. 93 Donruss. We've got 93 Fleer with Tom Glavine on the cover. So we'll play these on a future Name That Player. Here's 92 Topps. We have not played with that one yet. Now we go to 93 Score Select. So for Max, he's like, yes, some stuff from when I was alive. So next Friday we'll do one of the we'll do one of the mid-90s because I think 96 might be the newest pack in here. We'll play with 96. 93 Upper Deck. Kmart, $1.29. 94 Topps. Is that Nolan Ryan on the cover? 94 Topps. No, that's just a generic player. Harlan says, $1 a week. You're really investing in this YouTube stuff. I know, right? Oh, here's another 93 Fleer. Did they do series in 90? Yeah, series 2. Yeah, the 93 Donruss Diamond Kings were great. 94 Fleer. Oh, man, that's bricked. It's a whole new ball game. 15 cards, 94 Fleer. Baseball, a lot of baseball. Oh, we got 94 Topps. I think that's Brent Jones on the cover. Is that Brent Jones? Number 84, tight end, 49ers. 93 Topps. I think that's Jerry Rice. 49ers were the favorites back then. Here's another 93. There's Series 2, 93 Topps football. And and then we've got a 93 Upper Deck football. So there we go. So we'll play one of those next Friday. Name That Player. Then I got some Cubs stuff. So I think I'm just going to show off the Cubs stuff that I pulled. So Josh, and I think Josh is in Winona, Minnesota. And his bargain boxes are always packed. And I've never shopped his boxes, but I had downtime in the morning. He was already set up. And I'm like, well, I'm going to dig through your boxes. And holy shoot, he had some great stuff. First card I saw was Jackson Ferris, Stars and Stripes auto to $4.99. Jackson Ferris was a second-round draft pick by the Cubs in 2022. And I'm like, how much is this? He's like, $1. $1? You damn right. Yes. This is, what is this? Topps, triple threads or something, tier 1 maybe. Zach and Porter, what's happening? So I grabbed that. First Bowman Chrome Refractor, Cade Horton from Bowman Draft. He was the first-round pick for the Cubs. A Ray Wave, which I think I might have pulled a Horton Ray Wave in one of my boxes. James Triantos' first Chrome Mega Box. Kyle Hendricks. This is numbered to 99. Hendricks to 99. Blue to 99. Seiya Suzuki. I added some nice Suzukis to my collection. Rookie Performers from Heritage. High number. How about this? These are beautiful cards. Panini Capstone. This is a relic with a blue pinstripe. I think I paid $2 for this. Hell yeah. Here's a Panini Capstone. This looks like blue foil. Panini Capstone Seiya Suzuki. This is the base. And then New Age. So Josh actually pulled these for me. I didn't even fight. He's like, I'll pull the Seiya Suzuki's out of Capstone for you. Manny Rodriguez, I think he was just DFA'd, but an auto for $1 from Certified. Yes. A Prism auto of Manny Rodriguez. Yes. $1. Yes. Nelson Velasquez, first Chrome Mega Box. Let's see. I pulled that from a different box. Then I pulled some Bowman Draft Chrome Refractors, Alexis Hernandez, Kevin Alcantara, top 100 prospect in baseball now. Christian Hernandez, another Alcantara. That was from a different box. And then here were some others. Seiya Suzuki, Stadium Club. Looks like that's a black foil. So I added a lot of Seiya Suzuki. Here's a Manny Rodriguez optic auto. $3 on that one. Greg Deichmann draft pick auto, contenders draft ticket auto, numbered to 99. I've got a nice Greg Deichmann auto collection going. $2 for a blue Suzuki rookie debut. Yes, yes, please. A Dakota Mekas first Bowman purple auto to 250 for $2. Yes. Christian Franklin aqua numbered to 75 for $2. I took a chance. James Norwood Prism auto for $1 all day long. I will buy Cubs autos for $1. Private issue. This is numbered to 250. And I don't think he charged me $5. I think he only charged me like $2 on that one. And then look at this. Seiya Suzuki relic out of Chronicles for $1. $1. And then a Pete Crow Armstrong Mega Box. So that was all from Josh's. Manny got let go for the latest pickup. Aha. So let's see. I pulled this out of Matt from 5 Star. It's Eric Sogard, numbered out of 199. So just a foil. Let's see. Who else did I buy from? One of my new vendors. He was with Brad from Nelson Cards. He had this for $5. It's an orange talent pipeline, numbered out of 25 with Brennan Davis, Alfonso Rivas, and Corey Abbott for $5. Yes. Let's see. My buddy John Gruber gave me some cards. What did he get? He gave me some nice cards. So John, Herman knows John. He gave me a Turk Loan, Old Bowman. He gave me a 71 Topps Glenn Beckert and a Jim Bolger. And then my buddy Mark gave me an old Fleer sticker. I love that sticker. Sweet. Let's see. From my buddy Tom at Real Breaks, an Adbert Alzolay Archives autograph of Alzolay for $5. And then I think this was the steal of the day. Oh, go back to the Turk Loan. And this is in really nice condition, too. Here's the Omar Turk Loan. Beautiful card. Is it in focus? There you go. I love that set. Just a beautiful set. Back's clean. That's a really nice card. 54 Bowman. Aha. Looks like one corner's pretty dinged up. But otherwise, the other corners are pretty sharp for a 54. Let's see. This, I think, was the deal of the day. It's a Brian Gray Leaf card, but man, I love some of the Leaf cards. Look at this Ed Howard. Look at that. Patch auto, beautiful. Guess how much I paid for this? I was shocked. So this is my buddy Tom from Real Breaks. I found this. The sticker was actually on the back of the card. I pulled it out, and I'm like, how much? And he turned the back. Oh, Rich, it was more than $3. It was 10. It was $10. But I think $10 is a steal for that. I was very happy to pay $10. Very sweet card. And Ed Howard still sells really well. And he's like a fringe top 30 organizational prospect. Let's see. I pulled a Ed Howard refractor. I'm not sure whose booth I got this from. I do know this, Ryan Harvey. I got this for like $1 out of Kyle Brown. Great dealer. He's been with me since the very beginning, almost the very I think the very beginning. I pulled, I think it was his $3 box, but it was like, he's like, it's kind of old stuff. So it was my $3 box. Now I'll do 7 cards for $10. And I'm like, oh, damn. So I found, and actually the Ed Howard refractor might have been in that box. And the rest of the stuff was just autos that I'll put on eBay for like $3 or $4. So not much margin in there. But the Ryan Harvey will go in my PC. My buddy Andy he's from Iowa. He came up from Iowa City to set up. And Andy and Vince have really cool oddball stuff, non-sports, like an amazing, just random selection of stuff. So I pulled a small pile. I think there were some Cubs. I don't know where the rest of my stuff from them came, but I think I only bought 4 cards. So maybe one of those vintage cards came from there. No, because I wouldn't have bought those. So I bought these 2, and I know I bought a card for Herman out of their box and something else, but this is an exhibits. This is a new, it's not the old exhibits, but it's 1980 Frank Chance, which I do not believe I have this one. So I got that for like $2. And then this TCMA all-time greats postcard of Dizzy Dean and Gabby Hartnett. So this is from, I think, the late 70s. Uncle Rich can probably help me out on identifying the year for this. TCMA all-time greats postcard. I'm thinking, my guess is going to be 76. See if Uncle Rich knows. Postcard from TCMA all-time greats, Dizzy Dean, Gabby Hartnett. It's a legit postcard. There you go. You've got place for the stamp. It says postcards. So I don't know what year it is. I'm guessing late 70s. Rich says 76 is probably correct. Mark, he thinks it's 78. Okay, so late 70s it is. So those are some of the pickups that I got at the Madison Card Show. So it was a blast. I had a lot of fun overall. We did have a couple theft issues come up towards the end of the day in the first floor Williamson Ballroom, and it sounds like it was 2 different guilty parties. One was unfortunately they were both kids that the dealers thought it was. In fact, one thought it was like a 10-year-old kid that stole a bunch of cards from one dealer. And then the other was a single card. I don't think it was maybe a $20 card from another dealer, and he thought it was a bigger kid, teenager. So we did have that, which was my concern in the morning. It was so packed in all of the areas. It was just, and there's cameras aren't going to help. Security is not going to help. It's just, you have to be, as a dealer, it's really difficult in those situations to avoid when there's 8 people at your table, or if you have 2 tables, and if you're a solo dealer, damn, that's really hard to police your tables when there's, when your table is crowded. I mean, you can't have eyes on every single person, every single card on your table, and then you get distracted. It happens. So just be cognizant, and you have other people. Well, look out for your neighbors. Well, when your neighbors got 4, 5, 6, 8 people at his table, it's really hard. And there's deterrents you can put in place. But like the Midwest premiere, we had one kid who was probably 15, the kid that got caught red-handed, but it took some following to get that kid. And there was an armed police officer and other security guards walking the show floor. Kids still do it. Adults still steal. And it's just, try to lock it down, which is unfortunate because a lot of the theft occurs in like bargain boxes, and it could be $10, $20 cards, and they just slip a few cards, and it's just that easy. And yeah, you can't put your low dollar cards in a showcase and keep it locked, and you want to have bargain boxes out. But it's like if it happens, you know, it shows it different shows. It's like maybe you know, try something different. It's hard. It's you know, it's a double-edged sword. The more people, the more money you make, the more chances of theft. And it's the way of card shows. Zach, yeah, he and the guy who had it stolen from has kids around that age, so he knows what a 10-year-old looks like. In fact, I think one of his kids might be 10 years old. So that's just that young. It's really unfortunate. Adam says, part of the reason I stopped collecting in the 90s was all the stolen merch. Mark says, if I remember correctly, Baseball Greats came out 73 through 80. Very nice. So that was like the only, and that was like the end of the show. You know, fortunately, it wasn't like a big, you know, $5,000 card, $1,000 card. You know, I think it was smaller end cards that were taken. I just had those two. By the way, anyone that was at the Madison Card Show in the morning, I had somebody report to me. In fact, the irony here is I was telling the story, and I told Max the story earlier about the issue that happened with a dealer who sold a card that somebody left at his table. I'm like, if you leave, don't put it on your table and sell the effing card. And how I should have handled it was give me the card. I'll hold it. I'll put something out on Facebook. And if somebody reaches out, that I can get it back to the owner. As I'm like sharing this story with one of my dealers comes up to me and says, hey, somebody found this on the floor. So I'm like, do you have any idea what he looked like? He's like, this is the kid that found it. So I asked the kid, and the kid that found it was probably junior high school age, like a young kid. So this is a great story. We talk about some of the theft issues. This kid like reported, he's like, hey, I found this on the floor and gave it to the dealer. The dealer came to me. Perfect scenario. Unfortunately, I haven't found the rightful owner of this particular card. It's a nice card. I don't even know what the value would be. Maybe $50. I don't know, but it's a nice card. I'm not going to share what it is because I want the person that lost it to, I don't want to just say it was this card and then I have 7 people. That's my card. So if you lost a card, or if you know somebody that was at the Madison Card Show yesterday that lost, and I will say it was an autographed football card, reach out to me and just tell me who the player was. So you know, if you can, and if you send me 17 messages and I say, nope, that's not the card. Nope, that's not the card. You only get one guess. And if it's wrong, that's not the card. So we did have that reported. So I have that. I posted something on the Facebook page to the Madison Card Show. So hopefully we can return the card to the rightful owner. That's about all. We're almost an hour and a half in. I need to go ship. Actually, I need to stay here and ship. I need to go get more coffee, and then I need to ship. So like this video if you haven't already. Subscribe to the channel. I did put a couple shorts, YouTube shorts up from yesterday. I think I did a kind of a crowd shot short, and then I also did a short with highlights. I just published that one this morning, just showing off some of the cards that our dealers had at yesterday's show. Let's see. Max, thank you. I appreciate it. It was an awesome show. Can't thank the customers and the dealers both that made it a great show. Let's see. So that's what I had. eBay store. My eBay store link is in the description. Check that out. I'll be back live tomorrow morning, 7 a.m. Next week, you can find me. I'll have my quarter boxes at the Rockford Card Show at the IBEW Banquet Hall in Rockford. So I'll have all my quarter boxes there. The next Madison Card Show is February 25th. So mark that down. Saturday, February 25th. I thought you were going to say something else that sounds like ship. A lot of coffee this time of morning. Well, hey, we've all got our routines, right? It's the ship, shower, and shave, right? And the other one. So have a great Sunday. Like, subscribe, enjoy the football, and we'll talk tomorrow.